What's up, beautiful people? It's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today we'll have this very interesting video, and it's from Greg from the Black Conservative Perspective, and it's titled "Jason Aldean Says Woke CBS Anchor Straight on Try That in a Small Town Song, Not Being Racist." Also, we're back again at regarding this topic. So yeah, I'm excited to check this one out to hear what Jason Aldean have got to say, and Greg on this one. Let's check it out.
So are we going to talk about the racist dog whistles in Jason Aldean's new song or no?
As you probably heard, Jason Aldean's video for Try That in a Small Town has just been pulled from country music television. Okay. And he's out there playing the victim and saying that the video absolutely isn't what it very well is. The video is a message to the Black Lives Matter movement that they'd better stay away from him and his because they got guns and they protect their own. The video features him standing in front of a building that is the famous site of a mob lynching a young 18-year-old black man. And it's got an American flag hanging on it, and it's interspersed with footage from Black Lives Matter protests. What it doesn't have is footage of people who are likely members of his audience attacking the Capitol on January 6th and killing 5 police officers. But it does talk about disrespecting the police, those Black Lives Matter people. So I wish he'd just, own it. If you're gonna sow this division, then own it. And while we're at it, let's send the message out to his wife that being a tomboy as a child is way different than being a transgender child. So when she thanks her parents for not changing her sex when she went through her tomboy
because they did the right thing, dude.
She is just sowing division and hate. And it's a shame that this couple, with all of their influence, are using it to do that because they know that sowing division and hate among their people makes them lots of money. So let's not kid ourselves.
Alright guys, so we got to react to this CBS interview featuring Jason Aldean because she is going to confront him on the backlash that he has gotten from his hit song Try That in a Small Town, which is a song that the race hustlers of America boohoo, whine, and cried about, claiming that he's talking about lynching black people. Even though he doesn't mention anything about black people, what he talks about is protecting his small town from criminals who, loot and steal and destroy, which is what happened during, the BLM protests, the Antifa riots, the Roe v. Wade riots, etc., right? This is what far leftists do. And because the left thinks that all black people are criminals, they automatically interpret it as racist, where he must be talking about blacks if he's talking about stopping criminals from being able to loot, rob, steal, and be agents of chaos, right? And the mainstream liberal media went along with it for the most part, and it really is a damn shame that Jason Aldean has to sit down and do interviews like this in the first place and try to explain the meaning of the song, because anybody with any common sense and does not believe that all black people are criminals knows that the song is not racist. It really is a conversation we shouldn't be having in this country, but we are because, again, the race hustling left wants to make anything that they disagree with racist. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and react to this.
Action when you saw people saying that this had racist undertones, and it was like a call to arms.
Exactly,
it was like a call to arms in small towns. It was a threatening kind of video for black people. I mean, people were putting this on, like,
but there was people of all color doing stuff in the video. That's what I don't understand. There was white people in there. There was black people. I mean, this video did not shine light on one specific group and say that's the problem. So, and anybody that saw that in the video, then you weren't looking hard enough in the video, is all I can tell you.
And you're racist, okay? Because, again, if you watch that video and your takeaway is that he's talking about lynching blacks, right? Even though he didn't mention anything about black people, okay? He didn't mention anything about lynching. If that's your takeaway, again, that is your problem, right? You're looking at it that way, okay? You're the one that's being racist, not him. It's really that simple.
Exactly.
Genres in the country.
I love the song. I was excited to cut it and thought it was actually a song that said something for a change, not just a, you know, here's another song for radio.
Did you think, well, this might not go over well with some people, but I'm going to say it?
On the second verse, it said gun, you know, and that, you know, will tend to get people talking sometimes about that. So, you know, I didn't expect it to get the kind of heat that it got. And I think that was more probably because of the video more so than the actual song.
Part of that heat was because of where the video was filmed, in front of the Murray County Courthouse in Columbia, Tennessee, the site of a 1927 lynching of a black teen.
For anybody that thinks that we picked that building specifically for that reason, because, you know, there was a lynching there, whatever.
Did you know that?
No. But I also don't go back 100 years and check on the history of a place before we go shoot.
Facts.
Either.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts. Nobody does that, right? Nobody does that, okay? And for the most part, nobody cares. The only people that care are the people that are trying to make a whole bunch of something out of nothing. Because quite honestly, I'm going to tell you where a lot of this comes from. A lot of this comes from the fact that our lives, just in virtue of the fact that we live in a first world country, right? We live in America. People are too bored, right? They don't have any real things to worry about on a daily basis. Like, I don't know, surviving, right? So again, they make up things to be triggered about, right? Oh, God, that courthouse, they used to lynch blacks outside of the courthouse. It might be racist. I mean, it's a dog whistle. And it's like, bro, get a life. Get a life. I'm so serious. I grew up around Confederate monuments, okay? North Carolina is like Confederate monument central, okay? And I've never been offended by one. Never been offended by one. Never. It never affected me personally, right?
Exactly.
And honestly, I really didn't like it when people were protesting statues. Like, for example, when I went to UNC, they got mad, the woke mob got mad about the names of buildings and the Silent Sam statue because this is like a Confederate monument or whatever. I was like, this has never affected my life, right? I've never been affected mentally by the presence of a Confederate statue.
Like,
because it quite simply doesn't matter to me. I always looked at it as like, oh, well, this is just history, right?
history,
This is what happened. This is history. You learn about it, right? You move on with your life, okay? Apparently, that's not the case for some people, right? Apparently not. And again, I grew up around this stuff, right? I grew up around Confederate monuments and I guess, you know, lynching sites, right? All my life, and it's never affected me negatively.
It's also the place that I go get my car tags every year. It's my county that I live in.
Would you do it in that courthouse again, knowing what you know now?
Knowing what I know now, probably not. But it's also, you know, I don't think, again, I'm not going to go back 100 years and check on the history of this building. I mean, because honestly, if you're in the South, you could probably go to any small town courthouse. You're going to be hard pressed to find one that hasn't had some sort of, you know, racial issue over the years at some point. I mean, that's
facts, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, living in the South, again, it's just everywhere you go is going to have some history behind it, right? That might not be pleasant, but it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Nobody's been affected by it today. People need to move on past this. But again, they can't, right? And I think part of the reason why is because there's so much money in keeping this race conversation going, right?
Yes.
That they can't stop it, right? They have to find ways to say, oh, see, look, the white man's still trying to oppress us, right? He's trying to send signals. There's dog whistles, right? These people, they want to be oppressed, right? They literally want to live in the 1950s. I wish we had a time machine. I wish we had a time machine so that we can send these people back to an era that they so desperately want to be a part of, right? They desperately want to be a part of. I can't wait till we get to the point where we can send people back to the past, if possible, maybe it's not, so that they can live out their lives in segregation and being real victims and being discriminated against like they so desperately want, right? I wish they could. I really wish they could.
just a fact.
Critics also slammed Aldean for the images. Aldean says he didn't choose the specific clips, but the overall look of the video was his idea.
The whole idea behind the video was to show, you know, the lawlessness and the, you know, disrespect for cops and just, you know, trashing cities and burning. It's just, I'm just not cool with that. So it just, I don't know, I feel like the narrative really got switched over and became, you know, more of a racial type thing. And it's like, if that's what you got out of the song and the video, I mean, I almost kind of feel like that's on you, because that wasn't
exactly
our intention.
Yeah. So again, you seen that, you heard that. Okay. Anybody with common sense, right, that's not looking at the world through a racialized lens, interpreted that song the way it was meant to be interpreted, right, which was to be an anti-crime song, right, anti-criminal song. But you know what? Again, these leftists, these race hustlers, they support thugs and criminals. So again, that's why they got so triggered, right? Because they don't like law and order. They don't like, you know, criminals actually facing consequences for their actions. And that's why these liberal cities are lawless hellholes that are run by criminals, right? This is what they like. This is what they like to live in. So yeah, I can see why they be so triggered, right, by that. Boo-hoo, whining, and crying racism. But again, it's not racist. Again, it's more about law and order, which they really don't believe in. So hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.
You see? And that's the problem. Talk about how people are here saying Jason Aldean's tried out in the small town, the song is racist, there is racist undertone. Talk about lynching building. Really? So what you're telling me now is that people, whenever they want to do a musical video, they should go far back to look at a building or look at a particular place if there have been some kind of event that happened in the past. Like, I don't even get it. It's a crazy mentality for me. Like, how are we even gonna just sit and talk about this thing? Like, it don't make sense to me. It will never make sense to me, because this right here is all shades of crazy. Imagine people want to tell me that they are okay with people stomping on the flag, burning the flag, and also spitting on in the face of a cop, or disrespecting the cop, or slapping a cop, or hitting a cop, or being disrespectful to an elderly person, looting or stealing from people's businesses. People want to tell me they are okay with it. Wow. And painting it to say, oh, he's racist because he's talking about BLM, talking about Black lives. Wow. I'm done. Because this right here is all shades of crazy. And just like what Greg have said here, those people who want to be a victim, that feel to be the victim so bad, if there was a time machine, they should be taken back to 1950, the days where there was segregation, the days where there were slaves, for them to live in that era and live that experience, since they enjoy being a victim, and let them know how it is. Because I don't even understand the victimhood mentality that people are so obsessed with and racist. Like, it don't make sense to me. Honestly, it doesn't. And it's so crazy that we're actually having a conversation with this to ask Jason Aldean if he thought about the building, or if the song was racist. Like, what? Now you get this one saying Brittany Aldean should be he's creating like a divide. Our parents were responsible parents, and they were sensible, because there was no reason for them to castrate or chop off any part of their child's body, because the child wanted to live in one crazy fantasy that was all up in their head. People don't even realize how beautiful it was having that tomboy era, because yes, there were people who lived as tomboy, and that was what they wanted to live. But after a while, most of them grew out of it. There are some people who still did not grow out of it, but there are people who grew out of it. And thank goodness she grew out of it. Did she want to live in that light again? No. And it was beautiful. She's just beautiful, gorgeous. Look at her. Very beautiful and gorgeous. And I respect her a lot for that. And I respect her parents, because that was an important decision for the parents. And they did exactly what a knowledgeable, responsible parents should do. And you want to tell me that when you look at Brittany Aldean, you will not appreciate what the parents did? Or you think the parents oh my god, I don't even want to talk about this, because this is just one topic that I don't get how people would think it is okay to do that to little children. I mean, if you're an adult and you want to do that, that's fine. But talking about doing that to little children, it don't make sense to me. It will not make sense to me. Honestly, this is crazy. Talking back to 𝑗𝑜𝑖𝑛 Aldean, anybody that have got issues with this 𝑗𝑜𝑖𝑛 Aldean song, to say the song is racist and the likes and all of that, then that speaks so much about you, because it goes to show your true personality, and people have to be careful of that kind of person, honestly. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment down below. What are your thoughts about this so far? I really love your honest contribution to this. You can share other useful information you think might be really helpful. And until next time, see you in the next video.